100%. This is the new way of collecting. VeVe will continue to thrive in the next 5 or 10 years to come. I have no doubt that if we're doing the right thing, these brands should be living here for a long time.
You, as the CEO of Ecomi, rarely speak about it.
The backbone of this project has been the community and that utility of our token in that ecosystem. So we're going to bring more of that out. In VeVe, we also need to learn.
Today, we are talking to David Yu, CEO and co-founder of VeVe and Ecomi. With over 9 million licensed digital collectibles sold and a thriving global community, VeVe is the world leader in digital collecting. VeVe took on the mission of bringing the biggest brands such as Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and many more onto the blockchain and introducing them to Web3 for the first time. How they achieved this and what comes next, we will find out in my conversation with David Yu.
Hi, Jan. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on your show.
Honestly, a pleasure to have you on the channel today. And I think we have a lot to talk about. But just let us start with, if you like have to introduce yourself to someone new, what would you like to tell them about you in a couple of sentences so they get a feeling?
Well, I'm David Yu, co-founder and CEO of VeVe and Ecomi, and I've been in the collectible business for over 2 decades. We're building the world's best collectible platform, and all this has been since my childhood in the collectible business I'm in. And now the journey's emerging, taking me through the emerging fandom and the storytelling to create something truly global. So normally that's how I introduce myself, or I will go, do you collect something? Are you a collector? And then I'll start it off that way.
Yeah. I mean that already covers a lot and opens up a lot of questions normally, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So my next question would be, you're already a really successful guy in business, and I can just imagine, but you're financially set already. Why take on this immense risk and this immense challenge to bring like the world's biggest IPs like Disney, Marvel, etc., you name it, into this new medium of Web3? Why?
Well, the way I really see the industry we're heading into, number one, it's not about me. It's about what's going to happen next. I have spent years working with games and brands, IPs, and I just saw so many massive opportunity to give the fan true something, a new medium. And that new medium is this digital ownership. And this wasn't just really a business place, what I'm doing. It was really a chance to reshape an industry that I really love. And I really believe that, by doing so, we're opening a new door for both brands and collectors out there. And that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. Totally get that. And what I find really fascinating, like the first time I discovered VeVe, is how like 2 guys from New Zealand were able to get all those licenses. I mean, you guys were, as you said, already in the collectibles industry, and you had like really good contacts, for example, with Alfred Kahn. I mean, I would like to know how you got the Pokemon license when you were underage. I mean, even that is crazy to me. Maybe you could tell a little bit about that story.
Yeah. So I started in the gaming retail really by the accident. I got into the gaming retail business because another retailer here in New Zealand went into the receivership. So I kind of bought a lot of their liquidated stock in a yard sale type of situation. And really from there onwards, I set up a retail business, a small shop with the help of someone who was in the computer industry. And and really become the first secured a guarantor in a way for me to open up my first retail shop. Now,
Yeah.
the the story is actually quite long, but what was very important was that I took that opportunity and I made the effort to ring up and seeking what is the next biggest thing. And at that moment, trading card game, obviously in the late 90s was a glorious day. But there was a lot of trading card company went under, and I was seeking for something that's quite new. And Pokemon was one of those, and I heard about it, what was happening in Japan, that there was this cartoon animation program,
Mm-hmm.
and naturally evolving from there, I was selling Magic the Gathering, and Magic was partly distributed through Wizard of the Coast, and I basically found the master franchisor and really kicked it off from there and imported into New Zealand. And 25 years, 26 years after, the hobby
Still here.
draw. In fact, it's probably one of the most strongest gaming franchise out there. It's certainly one of the best and most recognized brand in today's gaming world. So
Yeah.
I'm just very honored to be part of that and that journey. And that journey is still continue. Many of you probably don't know. Outside of VeVe, I still own my retail business. I'm still very involved and in a way that business is what's kept me on my toes, keep me alert with what's happening in the gaming and the collectible space.
Yeah, yeah, totally get that. I think it's really really impressive that you still own that shop. Is it just one shop or is it a couple?
So I have two here in New Zealand, and then I have about three more and a couple
Mm-hmm.
franchise up in Asia. And they do very similar things. In the hobby just really in different languages, in different type of rule books and gameplay. But overall, it's the same industry.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, even though it's the same industry, I think what you guys do with VeVe compared to like your own retail shops, I guess that's totally different. So what I would like to know, where is the biggest difference in terms of your business career with the retail shops, for example, or the licensing beforehand and now with VeVe? Where are the challenges?
Um, so yeah, my previous ventures in the retail is really running a successful retail business. And VeVe is about building a global platform. And very important in any platform is about the community and an entire new way of how people will be collecting on this platform. And so it's not really just about the difference about the business. It's something um, very important is it's part of the evolution of that dream, what that collectible business will look like in
Yeah,
that global footprint. When you look at the product, the way it's being supply chain from the very traditional retail businesses all around manufacturing, start off with brand building and so on and marketing. VeVe, it's no different to that, but you add a new layer is how fast that distribution needs to go globally because it's available as a digital first product. So, both businesses have different challenges, but uh, the platform is the main driver. That's what's different between the retail
yeah.
industry.
Yeah, totally get that. I mean, there was recently, I think a couple of days ago, an article published of yourself where you maybe were misquoted. I've read that on X, but I wanted to ask you anyway because in the article it said that VeVe is aiming to open up retail shops as well. Is it right, or were you misquoted there?
So we looked at a retail opportunity for a long time, and I think sometime up in the early days in 22, 23, I always talk to the team around, we really need to take this experience into that retail. Um, the business is going through a cycle of changes, and what we
Hmm.
really need to look at is how we grow that and how we get our brand in front of people. Retail, in a way, is always a dominant oppressor. You're seeing large company in either in toys or in collectible business or in hobby um, gaming. They all start off retail because
Hmm.
the first full step for people to walk in. Even though that we talked about VeVe is going to be the first in digital, we still need to have ways and strategies to grow that business to a mass market. And being a part of that retail footprint is to give people better selection and better options and better understanding through either
Yeah.
education or the digital products that we're going to be rolling out. So these are some of the reasons why uh, I have been looking at that.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's like to convert people who were like collectors from physical stuff their whole life. I mean, I've talked about that with Corey in my last interview, and you guys at VeVe, like you will become the place where the world collects. But that also means you will have teenagers to 50, 60 plus year olds. So you need to market on a different level and to specifically for those different demographics.
Mm,
And I would say that like the physical stores and stuff would be a great way to get like the older crowd who doesn't really have like the feeling of the digital scarcity embedded in them, because I mean the younger crowd already like Roblox, Minecraft, etc. They already attach value to digital stuff and they understand the concept of digital scarcity. Is that
mm.
one of the ways you guys want to do that?
Yeah, 100%. Our challenge has always been how do we convert the audience who love that physical experience, and many of you guys probably have heard on my other interviews and updates is that digital is a product that we really believe that will help that conversion.
Yeah,
So in the roadmap, that's a major part of that identity of to target that collectors who love that digital. And yeah, we'll stay tuned. I mean, it's one of the major reasons why we have done so many appearance in physical events like Comic Cons. Even
yeah,
the NFC in Lisbon we did early last month. Um, it's really to connect that human emotion side because collectors always feel more closer to something when they can pick up something tangible, and that's why these conventions after COVID has been such a big popular hit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a great way. I think like the real community building happens on those or at those events, right? I mean, obviously, Twitter or X is a great place for the VV community, but I guess I haven't been able to attend one of the official VV meetups. I've going to the German one next weekend.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to that because, as you know, the German crowd, the German VV fam is really strong. I mean, we have a couple level 100s, and we are definitely here for cheering for you guys, and we are loving the product, and it's a great community. Um, but let us go back to VV itself. When was like? I mean, I imagine you and Dan, you were like, I guess I heard you were standing in Dan's kitchen, but oh no, that was for the first drop, right? For the first tot drop.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much. When we launched the Phoebe, we pretty much was at my apartment when he switched it on and actually the dining table.
yeah.
And you know,
But when was like the moment where it clicked for you guys, where you like where you thought like, oh, okay, we have something big here with Vivi.
yeah, that this the moment really. hit us is when we saw the fans in our live events, and when we saw the fans that they didn't just see VeVe as a product, but they saw VeVe as an experience. And then
Mm-hmm.
when people started forming relationship, friendships in the community, um, people cheer around the VeVe. That's when I really believe that we have something bigger than that digital collectible business that we tried to build, because what we really saw and we're seeing continuously is that people are building friendship through that digital collecting, because they are like-minded people. But that friendship, have extended far beyond we thought as a collector, because fans are traveling all around the world, and fans are scattered all around the world, and they come together to celebrate something that they have built with us, and that's something that we felt. That's when we know we have hit something big.
If you're new to VeVe and haven't signed up yet, it would really mean a lot to me if you do so with my affiliate link. Through that, you are not just supporting me, you also get 10 gems for free to kick off your digital collecting journey and grab your first digital collectible. And now, back to the video.
And we take the moment to thank the community, to give us this opportunity to bring this happiness to everyone. And for the future's sake, we're hoping this will continue.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's one of the, like, besides the high quality of the collectibles, besides the big brands, that's one thing that absolutely excites me about VeVe, because I've came across people I would have never, and I mean never come across on another way, if it's not for VeVe. That's amazing. And as you said, so many good friendships were formed because of the starting point with the same hobby and same interest. Um, what what interests me would be, like, VeVe has a couple hundred of the world's biggest IPs. And how are you guys planning on making VeVe a long-term success and a sustainable business in a really fast-moving, I would say, Web3 and digital space?
Yeah. So the important bit is that myself and Dan, we're not here to chase the hype. We're
Hmm.
very focused on real licenses, a real product, and delivering consistent value to the fans and licensors. You got big brands that work with us, and so many brands trust us. And we really need to make sure that this business becomes substantially from a building a platform where collectors know about the founders, the people they are dealing with. um, this is no different than when you go to a retail shop. You want to be on on par with that belief, that journey with the founders, and that's why many of these brands become very successful, because they build trust on it. So for us as a long term, it's really more around how do we keep it sustainable and making sure it's very well balanced. We have
Yeah.
stakeholders we need to look after. We have licensors, and most important is that we have that community who love cool things that we bring out. And I think a lot of people jump on the VeVe, and they will continue to come into VeVe is because they're going to eventually see a license or a brand that brings that nostalgia-ness that connect with them. And that's what VeVe's about. The more we bring out on these collectible formats or first appearance and connecting with them, the more they see the AR images of the videos, that we're going to entice more people to come into that ecosystem. So it is very important that we're not really just here for the hype, but we are focusing in the real business as well.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you, you guys were able to convert me into a collector, because I've never been a collector before. Never. I mean, I played with Pokemon cards, but that wasn't collecting, right?
Yeah.
So you did a good job on converting me.
Thank you.
But you've mentioned hype in your last explanation, and I want to ask like a little bit critical on that topic,
Mm.
because don't you think that hype could also be a good tool for VeVe's long-term success? Because if we look at the crypto market at the moment and the recent NFT sales, they are going up slowly and steady. So what's your opinion on capturing some of that hype over the next couple of months,
Yeah.
to bring in a lot of more new users, and where essentially a few will stay for the long term?
Yeah. So the I guess the short answer and the long answer is that um, the hype will be different. Obviously, as the product matures, um,
Mm-hmm.
talked about the bow cycle. You know, the industry goes up and
Yeah,
down, and then the idea is that we see this continue upstream in a 45, hopefully 45-degree angle going up on the slope. That more and more people will understand what this industry and what we're delivering, what we are offering to the audience, and um, and Fifi's all around that experience. You know, you really need to understand the brands that we do and why collecting through digital is a new medium, rather than people come in. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the digital asset crypto people understand that. I'm sure a lot of them already have an account on Fifi. For
mm-hmm.
us, how can we bring them and how can we get them excited about something else that it's going to extend in that ecosystem? And that's what we're doing. So I won't really rely on pure hype. I will be relying on, you know, what else are we going to be delivering that's going to bring them back in? And some of them's going to just come back in simply because they hear all about it. I mean, some of the trading card, the most well-known brands out there, is simply because it's on the social media. It's people
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
So naturally, you're just going to have that progression of people going, "Oh, I have that," and then people will talk about Fivi again, and they go, "Oh, I have a Fivi account. Maybe I'll log back in and see my collectibles and my collection." So the idea is to get more people talk about it, and the more they talk about it, they're just going to come in. You know, I'm seeing in the recent weeks, and I'm being very encouraged, like you have mentioned, more people are signing up, and we're
mm-hmm.
seeing a lot more first time active users buying the gems and buying their first collectible on Fivi. So we're very encouraged to see these type of numbers. That is, you know, going through our marketing and our sales funnel, and then and for them to purchase the first item. So it's very, very good numbers. We just hope to see more, and we need to deliver a lot more to see more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've talked to Corey about that you guys leveled up your content and marketing game massively, in my personal opinion. Also, I think like the hype in the VeVe and Ecomi community comes back, and a lot of people are like more active on Twitter again and showing off their collectibles,
Mm.
and educating people about VeVe and Ecomi.
Mm.
But on that front, I mean, you guys are working with the biggest brands in the world, and I wonder like how do you guys handle like the tension between the what the community wants and the business reality? Because I think like if you sign on a new license and you want to promote it in any kind of way, there's a long time back and forth what you can do, how you do it, etc. So how do you handle that?
Well, number one is um, we try very, very hard. Number one is to be honest with our audience. You know, things does take time in reality, and very important is that you have the two founders who listen and we adapt. We work very agile. You know, number one is because we want to make sure that we are delivering a product and making that VeVe fun again. And that's what Dan really believe, that we need to be injecting fun into what we have built. Number two is, um, we also have to protect the relationship that we have with the licensors. And how we do it and how I do it is really thinking about long term, and finding that balance, which I talked about before. If the brand is relevant to be delivered to our audience or to be introduced, and number three, going back to that fun aspect, is giving fans what they want, and while making sure that the platform thrive for years. So we think very long term. We're not really thinking about next month or just a month after. For myself, I work on a lot of these business development and brand, and I'm thinking 6, 8, 18 months ahead of things. I'm working on deals, or have been working on deals that's it's taking a number of years to discuss. And most important is that we will never be perfect. Why? Because there's no playbook about the industry we're in. We don't know by doing A plus B equals going to be C. But something very important is how we're going to change and how we're going to learn from that mistake that we made, and change it so the audience will have a better experience, and VeVe will continue to thrive. And I don't really believe any business, even in retail, the playbook is there. If you look at retail industry, for example, they're going through the hardest time ever. Even a couple years ago, they might be blaming on COVID that people not walking through, but now you see all the large department store retailers are closing down, and there are reasons why, because the market segment and what's relevant and how people behave have changed certain ways. And in reality, in VeVe, we also need to learn, the mistake that we made, and how we need to change, and how we need to pivot in certain things to deliver better experience and so on, in the next 5 or 10 years to come, and what we can learn from it. And like you mentioned, the marketing really have to be up the game. And every collectible business is out there chasing the same market segment. They are chasing that same, like you talked about, the hype. How are we going to get people all hyped up about buying something? VeVe in a way is no different, but we also need to think, how can we continue? If the cycle comes back in again, how do we capture and ensure they stay in their ecosystem? And that's what we do. We remarket, for us to reactivate our existing users will be our key goal. And obviously it's getting that message out there, and making that the social space wherever we can, whether in Instagram, Facebook, or X, make it exciting, get the fan engaged, and turn that on again.
In terms of getting and acquiring new licenses, I mean, I have no clue how this really works. So walk me through, like, when you approach a new license, how long is the process roughly? What are the first discussions you have with the licensor? And
a few very important thing is, I grew up loving brands. I mean, I sell brands in my shop, and I see how much happiness when people connect from the TV shows or the streaming they're watching, connecting. They're emotional. I mean, I grew up being a huge Star Wars and Japanese animation. So those things hold, number one, very special place to me. And how we really sign up these partnership is about timing and work on the strategy. I talk to many IPs. A lot of them do pass on because they go, oh, it's another crypto NFT license
Yeah,
deal.
but I mean,
And
sorry to interrupt there. Sorry to interrupt there, but you guys should by now have a lot of credibility by the licenses you've already acquired, right?
100%, definitely. So we were able to use the real life what we have achieved and show them the real life. Where we were in 2019, being pre-revenue, pre-releasing the app, no customer acquisition to versus now we have some of the biggest brand. So the conversation definitely is a lot easier. But you still do get pushback, and and some of these pushback comes from brand licensors. They still don't understand that digital realm, or they have artists that didn't really understand when they heard about NFTs, about that environmental issue. So that constant education going back to the licensors educating them, that still does take time. Believe it or not, we're
Yeah.
coming up to the 5th anniversary of VeVe this year. We still have to pitch. Obviously, it's a lot easier when the product is live and the audience there. But, finding that relevant IP and finding that product is going to work does take time. You have seen recently, especially some of the most recent releases of VeVe Collectibles, they become much more detailed. The colors more vibrant. The animation is a bit more smooth, and
Yeah, absolutely.
these are things that we learn. If you still see the same quality you see in 2021 when we first released the app, then you're going to go, well, this company's not really growing. That the technology or the animation, it's almost going through generations. And in the last 4.5 years, the product has gone through different cycle and different generations. And now we are able to show new licensors the quality of that product, and like we couldn't before. So
Yeah.
we're very, very pleased that we came to that stage.
Yeah. What kind of role does the VeVeVerse play in showing off those collectibles? Because one of my best buddies from the community is Collectors Gone Digital, and I know you guys are working together. And I'm curious, how important is the VeVeVerse in showcasing what you guys are building?
The thesis is part of our very much long-term plan. Couple years ago, you seen, and this is before AI was the hot topic. Everyone's talking about the metaverse. So when we invested into that metaverse, is because we really understand that convergence, that the digital collectibles that you have now in your collection is ultimately is going to be part of that universe. So number one is we want to be very much fully immersive digital collecting ecosystem, that a mix of AR, VR, AI, that real world utility. If you think of your digital museum marketplace, VeVeVerse is basically that part of that journey for you. And that is something that we're very proud of, and that we're putting a lot of time and effort into it to ensure that experience stay fun and true. And it is part of our very much long-term horizontal in VeVe.
A common question or theme in the community is sometimes how you guys make sure to keep those big IPs and sustain the relationships and working together, and not that, for example, Disney says one day, okay, we are doing our own thing and we are migrating over to whatever. How do you guys ensure keeping the licenses you guys have?
Yeah, the important part, we basically treat the licensors and our partners, all of them, like in a way like our family. We, not every day you get on, you have your own ideas, you want to expand. Licensors are out there to look for ways um, to deliver that storytelling, to deliver that experience. VeVe really needs to look at itself constantly to be number one. If we stay true to ourselves and we're continue to develop new features and new enhancements to the app, and we're increasing users, that relationship will never stop. You can almost think of why would the relationship stop if we're doing all our job and ticking all the boxes. So delivering quality product is what they are looking for. So a lot of time licensors, relationship break down in certain different ways is because they're like anything, like family, then you need to pay attention to them. You need to be delivering those goals. And they will have different goals. And in different times through their business ecosystem, they will be targeting at new chapters and new audience. Same as VeVe. We constantly are emerging. We are taking VeVe to the VeVeVerse. When we first approached the licensors and the partners, they didn't even know about VeVeVerse. We talk about, one day these things can be gamified or could be taken into something. We in a way, we only told them about the showroom, the Vault. And Vault was basically that whole idea through that door of that safe become that VeVeVerse. And now some of them and a lot of them have embraced that and giving us with our relationships, giving us that opportunity to open that door. And we're really, really pleased to see that. And as long as we continue to grow and continue to deliver that experience that they see their IP is going to be relevant to those audience, they will continue to work for us. So with us. So I have no doubt that if if we're doing the right thing, these brands should be living here for a long time.
Yeah. And I also think like the licensors are probably more open to the idea of Web3 and crypto now that the like legislations and the rules in the US, for examples, or the rules worldwide were opened up a lot more. I mean, they have to be really careful with their IPs. I mean, they've built those IPs for decades, so they can't just say, okay, take it, do whatever you want, right?
100%. I mean, the technology today has really caught them by surprise in many different ways. One year you have the blockchain coming. Now you have metaverse, and then you have AI. So all these are the digital realms, right? All these are all changing that landscape. You can think of the creators out there. First, they think, oh my God, blockchain is bad. They don't know why. It could be the environmental. And then they go, well, AI is bad because it's taking over the writers, the creators' job. And in fact, I have seen short films being made through AI or advertisings. And so in a way, you have to really embrace the changes in that technology. So hopefully they understand that the importance of what we are doing at VeVe and how we are delivering that true in a way that the character, how they should be in digital format, and that will live on continuously forever.
Yeah. I mean, besides that new medium of digital, it's also a great stream of revenue for them, right? I mean, they get, for every sale, they get a percentage. I mean, you can't do that with physical toys. I mean, you get one time, you get paid, and then it's not on your payroll, I would say. I mean, that's great for the licensors.
Yeah, I mean, for many years, artists have always been talking about, and you've seen some of the record-breaking auction price. Artists are going, well, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting a piece of that real revenue when something's being resale. So technology like blockchain is there to deliver these and to solve some of these issues and problems. So we'll see more and more when the regulation become more clear and crystallized around the world. And I think we're still in. I won't say we're just in early. I think it's just part of that process that we've gone through that.
Yeah, yeah. If you, I mean, you live somehow in the future. I mean, you probably live like 2-3 years before every one of us. So you're like, you know what comes in the next couple of years in terms of new IPs, new developments on the VV side, etc. But I'm curious about, where do you see like VV in an ideal scenario, hypothetically, obviously. No promises here, guys. In 10, 15, or 20 years? Where do you see VV in your vision?
Well, the roadmap, obviously, what we see in the digital realm is really that interruptible and through AI. So we focus on, we will be aiming to focus on making VeVe Collectible more interactive, more portable, and smarter. One day, our platform somehow will be AI power. There will be certain collectible will be AI collectibles. Uh, you know, definitely it's on the horizon, right? You could really think about having the non-play characters that you play in the game start interacting with you. And in the same time, it's very important that we get that foundation right, and to make them it's real when the technology and the regulation is ready. So we're still learning. My job is constantly reading and listening and taking interviews, calls with different tech entrepreneurs and different people in the cross platform to get their ideas and how they see, where the future is. But certainly, VeVe will always be, you know, mobile first, because we will introduce to our users through the ease of mobile phone, and really is how we make that even better experience. It is very important that the technology also evolve as well. We came up with the great idea, but we will not be here today if mobile phone could not be powering these things. So the likes of the manufacturers are really important. The internet speed. I really think 10 years ago, you just could not be downloading AR character the way that you see in VeVe today.
Yeah.
And just the quality and the way we have able, the team, especially with team Dan Tsai and the team and co, really deliver that true that character through that mobile experience. It's very, very important. So as long as the technologies continue to deliver, not just in VeVe but overall everyone, I think we're going to get closer and closer to that goal.
Yeah, yeah. One question I wanted to ask was, I don't know when you've said it, but I believe it was you. I mean, you were dreaming a little bit, but it's not that far from reality now, I would say, because you said something like, just imagine having your Darth Vader digital collectible, and installed in that one is a Darth Vader specific AI, so you could go back and forth with that character. What would you say to that?
I really think, I mean, today you could be talking to AI bots right now about Darth Vader. You can imagine that bot as Darth Vader, let's say, and you can almost communicate with it already. But obviously, it will be through text. The world when you see 3D animated, well, in Darth Vader world, he's in the mask, right? So you can't really, but you can imagine he's talking back to you in that voice, and replying to you. That, that will, I think, for fandom wise, that will be the dream of people able to be that close to that character, talk to her.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Because everyone will have a different things, right? Right now we sit down, we watch the movie, we watch the plot because the writers, the producers makes it a certain way. Imagine even in the movie world, they'd be making 5 or 10 different endings depending on how you walk through and how you interact in that story. And I think that one day that whole thing, that technology will come. I remember when at school as a child, you read through these books. When you get to a certain part of story, it goes, well, you like to do this or that, and you turn to page
Mhm.
6 if you do something else. And AI and where we are sitting at digitally is going to happen. But we also want to make sure that that content is going to be true. Because
Yeah, Corey talked about that in our interview. He said VeVe is aiming to become a gold standard of information in the digital realm because, I mean, through the easy accessibility and the easy output of new information, a lot of stuff will get misquoted or lost and something. And I think that would be awesome if VeVe becomes that source of truth.
yeah, 100%. I really also believe that AI company out there will one day use blockchain in a way to correlate um, the data, the source of truth of that
Mhm.
data, where it came from, who quoted it, that came from Wall Street journals, or it came from which media out there that quoted that or written about it. Because right now we kind of get it. Because it's going through that data farm, it's coming out generating these
Yeah.
answers. But we eventually, I think what we need is that source of truth, especially when you come to medical fields and other things. That's very important. I mean, fandom and all that, people can easily source these things anyway. But we certainly there's certain areas in our day to day life we will want that to be as
Yeah.
accurate as possible. And VeVe wants to focus on that. We want to be, like Corey said, the gold standard, the authority in the collectible space. We want people to think of VeVe, they're going to go, hey, everything they do on VeVe, the platform, it's all legitimate, it's all licensed, it's all got rights to it. And that's what we want to be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's such an important part about collecting and the history and the brand recognition as well, right?
Yeah,
But David, now I want to put you a little bit on the hot seat right here,
sure.
because you are not just the CEO of VeVe, you are also the CEO of Ecomi. And a common complaint in the community is that you, as the CEO of Ecomi, rarely speak about it. Is there a reason, or is it a timing thing? What is it?
And you're talking about the VeVe versus Ecomi. Well, if you think about it, Ecomi is the backbone, the utility, that the token, the infrastructure. Um, and VeVe is really that consumer facing experience and the tech around that. And they are kind of separated, but they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
So myself and Dan, we work really hard to ensure both sides align on strategies and the way we message. So the from the utility side of the token, we are bringing a lot more out, and we will
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
announcing. We'll be announcing in a matter of hours, hopefully after the show goes live. That we have other roadmaps that it's in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
One of the major thing when VeVe was launched was that the second thing of that payment system and the crypto acceptance through your mobile payment gateway, we got flagged. Obviously, this is very common knowledge. Apple and Google, they have a way certain policies. So you may build the coolest app, and you're thinking to adopt certain cryptocurrencies to be accepted. They're not going to allow you to second thing. So we quietly try to work out other ways and strategy to do it. And also ensuring that our partners, our licensors understand that, we will need to look at a new path, and that's why Stackart was brought forward. We launched Stackart in beta early on this year. We're now going to be integrating exclusive Omi collectible drops, and we also announcing that the Omi to Gem, so you could actually have that product more connected to VeVe. So these things are now on the works, and you'll hear more about it at the right time. But don't get us wrong. It's taking us a long time, and there's just so many moving parts in this business. We're never going to get it right in the first time go. But we continue and we aim to deliver what we promise, and we're working on it. We're still here, and we apologize to the community that maybe we have over promise, under deliver. So a lot of time you probably don't hear from us as much because we want to make sure we can deliver. What's the word out there? Under promise and over deliver. And that's what me and Dan have always talked about, is maybe we need not tell them. Otherwise they come back when this, when that. We want you guys to enjoy what we have put together with you. This is our journey together, and we listen to you, we hear you, and the backbone of this project has been the community and that utility of our token in that ecosystem. So we're going to bring more of that out.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to that. I had to ask that kind of critical question because myself, I came through Omi into the VeVe ecosystem, and I know a lot of people took the same path as myself. So it's good to hear some positive and positive news about Omi. But I'm really looking forward to that those announcements. And back to VeVe. VeVe started as a mobile first platform. Now we've shifted a little bit with the VeVeVerse onto the PC because it's just not possible in at the moment to join through the phone. But there will be a VeVeVerse mobile. Dan said quite a few months ago. What is like the longer term vision for the VeVeVerse mobile app, and with new technologies, for example, wearables? Because I've listened to an interview of Mark Zuckerberg, who was like, in the early 2030s, most of the people will shift from the phone to the wearables.
Yeah. So number one, the VeVeVerse on desktop is operating pretty good. Obviously, it's for a lot more advanced people. Number one is your PC needs to be great graphic, memory, speed, everything. Now, the problem with the mobile phone, what we have found is that there's only so many objects you can have. And what we have found during the test in the process of it is that it either freezes up or it doesn't load. So what we are thinking to do, and then what it will do is it will ask you to go to your desktop. Now, what Dan has come up with another solution, and it's already in the pipeline. He's testing it and coming up with ways to resolve that issue, is how we can really use the mobile as just really an experience in that. So it's not so graphically intense what you see, the collectors in digital have built, or all these immersive world that goes for kilometers. Your mobile phone will never really able to deal with that. And I remember in the early day when we launched, even the fall, when people start having 100+ collectibles, it was really, really difficult. And that's because your phones only have so much capability. And I mentioned earlier that the technology really also needs to advance itself. Now, so we are looking for solution. And we're hoping to resolve that issue with another technology way of streaming the product and deliver to the audience. But going back to your topic, when people talk about wearable devices, number one, the VR is already out there, and recently I was giving a pair of the Meta, must be Meta Ray-Ban glasses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's more like a smart glasses that allow me to capture videos, photos, allow me to ask questions, simple things, and direct me into in areas that I want to see. I really think an AR version of those will come out very soon. And I think a number of company out there, the major multinational out there, are looking to develop that. And certainly VeVe will be one of the perfect case tests to go, well, what do you want to see? In 2017, when me and Dan, we put this journey together, is we dream about and we talk about it when we pitch to people that one day you really want to see digital layer of art and characters that you're part of that immersed digital world, and that will come. That day will come. I, the reason why I'm smiling is because I just see it. The way these companies are building the thing is they want to be there now. So stand by. I'm certainly, there's a lot of smart companies and people out there try to crack this. And VeVe will be poised to be the forefront of delivering these best characters. And you've seen our characters in AR recently. I mean, they look as good as what you see in the movie in your mobile. So it's coming.
That will be so exciting. Honestly, even the quality in the VeVeVerse is so good. And if I think about like the digital overlay through a really small device and then place it wherever I want, and that will be huge in my opinion.
100%.
Before we end this conversation, I have one last question, and then want to give you the chance to say something to the community. And the last question on my end would be, what would you say to people? I mean, if you build a successful company like VeVe already is, and I mean, we both believe there's way more room to go and to grow, but VeVe is always already really successful, and that always comes with people who criticize it, or you could say hate on the project. So, what would you say to those people who say VeVe is a scam?
Well, number one is I don't believe it is. So, what I will reply to people is every major shift in any industries, in this case, VeVe is in the collectible. When you think about other company in other industry like music, shifting from buying the traditional CD to streaming on your Spotify, from reading your book originally from paper books to Amazon ebooks, from movies. Now, instead of buying DVD or renting in the blockbusters, you're watching through stream service. Um, VeVe in the collectible business, we're not here trying to take over the physical, but we really believe that there's that new medium where we meet that resistance by using the blockchain as the next step. And we're not asking people to believe the hype or be speculative, but believe in digital ownership. And many reasons, because your security is going to be far better. No one's going to break into your house or your friends steal your trading cards, school, and so on. The way is going to be more safer in different ways, and the way you can carry on your mobile device, it's going to be a much better way to connect with brands that you love, and what we want to do is to bring you more experience through that VeVe ecosystem through our metaverse as well. So, you know, we're definitely not here trying to convince people that, you know, believe in it. But if you love what you see, your friends are getting into the AR or the collecting of digital comic on VeVe, give it a try. I mean, the product here, you're certainly not buying a product that's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're starting small from a digital readable ECL comic book on VeVe for, you know, for little as $3.99. And if you love that and you want to own a Furion cover, you pay $2.99 more, and you get a midnight collectible. And you never know which artist you love. It could be Scotty Young, it could be Mark Bro, it could be Peach Momoko. You get one of the beautiful Furion cover, and you keep that for life, and you can trade it. I mean, the fact that you got that experience through all that, it's definitely something worthwhile looking into. And, you know, a lot of people down in different parts of the world, that if you're not connected to North America or Europe, where you're down like in New Zealand or in parts of Asia, where comic book physically is just no longer viable to be shipped down here through the airmail and then through that supply chain into the retail shop. By the time you get it, you're 3 to 4 months later, and then you're paying four to 5 times the cover price. If you just want to own a copy to read through digital and you want to trade with someone, VeVe's the way you go. 100% tell you that this is the new way of collecting. You know, even today, I participate in the Buzz Lightyear drop. My first pull, I got the special edition, the common special, glow in the dark. And, you know, when I looked at it, I just go, I need to go and get one more, see if I get the secret rare or ultra rare. You know, the second pull was common. But the point is, what I'm trying to say, that fun, that deliverable was delivered to me instantly. So I was buying a product that is same day available all around the world through my mobile. I'm not in any disadvantage apart from I have to be up at 3 a.m, but I get it same day delivered to me rather than waiting for many months. So, you know, and really click what you love, click things that interest you, click things that really talks to you, and embrace that technology will continue to deliver. VeVe is definitely very much going to bring the fun back again.
Yeah, great. Before you have the final words, guys who are still watching, please let us both know what you think about the discussion down in the comments. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a follow. You know the drill. And now, David, take it away with the final words of this interview.
You know, thank you so much. This box here, thank you so much for. I think Dan also got one. We got one each in Lisbon presented to us by Sanjay. You know, community member like yourself, who love what you do, who put in the energy, and part of that family is so important to us. We hear you. We want to make your experience even more special, and the journey. And we really do understand what you want to see you in. All the negative and the positive side, I think the community just actually want us to do better. And we are working on that. We want to build, we want to make you guys proud. We are here for the long term, and we think very much long term. We're definitely not here sleeping or laughing or sitting here going, you know, the job is done. The job is not done. We are still working on it. We still got so much great deliverable, great announcements, and great events coming up. If you guys going to be at, I think we have announced the next 3 physical live shows events we're going to be. We got DesignerCon in Hong Kong coming, which is going to be very much catering to new Asian market collectors into the world of VeVe. Number 2 is we going to start our celebration for our 5th birthday from the West Coast at the New York Comic Con. Man, that's going to be an amazing show. We got movie stars, we got artists, we got voice actors, we got everything, all the exclusive is going to be available at New York Comic Con. And then shortly after that in November, we're going to be celebrating our official 5th year anniversary at DesignerCon Las Vegas. So for many of you guys, if you guys in any of these places, please stay tuned for our newsletters. Register them early, participate, book your flight, book your accommodation, do what you need. Our teams are here to reach out, reach out to if you need help on certain things. But we're going to be putting a lot more effort out there to let you know. And one other thing is that the level 100, God damn it, a lot of you guys are coming out on level 100. I know there's suddenly a major rush of people trying to fit into the first 100 of level 100. As we promised, there's going to be that the trophy will be shipping out. We are gathering all your data. If we reach out, our team's reaching out to you, please respond so we can get your trophy made. It does take us many, many weeks to make these. We're going to be presenting some of them in the upcoming shows. And at the German communities, you got some surprise coming out this coming up weekend. And I hope you guys are enjoying your festival there. It's just so great to see communities around the world putting in special events to celebrate all across the world. And we want to see a lot more of that. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you so much for the audience out there watching. It's probably going over an hour now. And I hope, we and the company have started to deliver things that you want to see, and will continue to do so.
Perfect, David. Thank you so much. And for everyone who's watching, if you liked this conversation, then you will probably like this one as well. And see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.